particular session, I'm using Contour Retail database. And what I'm going to do in this particular case is I am going to select this fact open sales over here, and this is a fact table. So you can say this is the table which is always updating. You can say transactions related data, sales transaction related data is in this. And over here we have all this dim prefix. It denotes that the tables are dimensions, right? So
Dimension. Yeah.
do you know what are dim dimensions, what are fact tables? Any idea about that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I understand a little bit about star schema. So I understand like what are fact tables and what are dimension tables. So what happens is in fact tables, the data keeps on changing. For example, we have sales. So that's a
Yeah,
dynamic table that, entries in that table will keep on changing.
yeah,
And dimension table is like something that talks about, which is static, like it talks about a product or it talks about employees. So it will have one record, like unique records in those tables,
yes,
whereas in fact table we have multiple records of the same.
right. So okay, I'm bringing these tables in the import mode right now. Uh, Power BI works in three different storage modes. One is the import mode, the other is the direct query mode, and third one is the dual mode. So we will cover this later on, but for now, just to let you know that currently I'm fetching all the data, as in
Mhm,
all the rows of all these three tables into my Power
mhm.
BI, right? So
Okay.
this is what I am doing right now. So in order to start with DAX, I will start with the concept of evaluation context today.
Okay.
So I will just cover this with you. And I know that this might get little overwhelming, uh,
Mhm,
but still, I'll please, if you have any questions, just
mhm.
stop me at that time and you can ask it,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we will just go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah.
So right now it is not going to involve any coding, right?
Mhm,
I
mhm.
just want to let you know that please forget Python, forget any other language that you have learned so far.
Okay.
DAX is totally unrelated to it. The full
Mhm,
form is DAX is data analysis expressions, and
mhm.
it is a functional language. It is a
Mhm.
functional language. So
Okay.
everything in DAX is a function. So this is
Mhm,
first point that you have to keep in mind, that everything in DAX is a function. So
mhm,
while if I talk about Python and all those things, they are
mhm,
different. They are totally different. If I talk about R, it's highly sequential. If I talk about
uh-huh,
Python, it is object-oriented programming language and all
mhm,
those things. So this is totally different. So if you want to understand DAX, please don't relate DAX with any other programming language. This is one
okay.
point. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I talk about evaluation context over here,
Mhm,
so just let me do one thing. Actually, I haven't created any notes or something like that,
mhm,
because this is kind of, yeah. If I
mhm.
talk about evaluation context over here, they are actually divided into two different contexts. Just a second. Evaluation. Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
So one is the filter context,
Mhm,
and the other is the row context. So Power BI has you can say engine at the back end, Vertipack
mhm,
engine at the back end. What Power BI does is every software has some kind of backend, right?
mhm,
It is running Vertipack engine at the backend. So every transformation, everything, data fetching, manipulation, context transitions, or any other, I mean, a filtering that we are applying, everything that is going on in Power BI from the back end, Vertipack engine is doing something, and
Mm-hmm.
then only we are able to get the result. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if I talk about evaluation context, they are actually used by Power BI engine in order to make our dashboards work, in
Mm-hmm.
order to do the measure calculations, in order to actually calculate the table that we have based on the filters we are applying, right? So
Okay.
this is important. This is important. Now let's
Yeah.
let's just leave it. So what I'm going to do over here is, for the sake of this session, I will be creating a few measures,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll let you know how everything is working. So I'm going to name this table as measures because I like to keep measures in a
Mm-hmm.
separate table, for
Okay.
the sake of understanding, and for the sake of, you can say, organization, in order to
Okay.
organize my dashboard and everything.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the measures will be over here. Now
Mm-hmm.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this, but before that we will go to model view and see how the relationships are there between different tables. So
Mm-hmm.
as expected, our fact table is over here. Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
If fact table is on the many side of the relationship, and these dimension tables are on the one side of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And if I talk about the relationship, then date key of dim date is related to the date key of fact sales. And
Mm-hmm.
similarly, if I talk about this relationship, then product key of dim product is related, is connected, is having relationship with the fact
Mm-hmm.
sales using product key only, right?
Yeah.
So this arrow shows me that I am able to filter the fact sales
Mm-hmm.
using any column from dim product, and
Mm-hmm.
in the same similarly any column from the dim date table. So this is one thing. This is one thing that I have got right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now this will be helpful to me in the creation of my measures. So I will just right click over here, click on new measure, and what I'll do is I'll just create sum of sales amount. And over here, what I'm going to do is I
Mm-hmm.
am going to use this SUMX function over here.
Okay.
Now, SUMX is an iterator, and what it is doing and all those things that we will be covering very soon. But
Okay.
before that, just see how I am creating this measure. So
Mm-hmm.
on this particular table, fact sales, I
Mm-hmm.
am applying SUMX function, and the expression that I am applying, the expression that I want to calculate using SUMX is sales amount. So
Okay.
now what this is going to do is, since SUMX is an iterator, it is going
Mm-hmm.
to iterate on fact sales table. So
Mm-hmm.
it is going to when I say iterate, now, uh, first of all, it is going to, suppose there is a cursor. It is
Mm-hmm.
going to go to the first row of fact sales. It is going to pick sales amount from that. Then the cursor will move to the second row of fact sales. Now, the sales amount which is there on the second row will get added to the sales amount of the first row,
Okay.
and it goes on. So
Okay.
now it is going to iterate on every row of fact sales table, and
Got
it
it.
is going to calculate the sum, right?
Got it. Yes.
So over here, the context which is working, it
Mm-hmm.
is the row context.
Row context. Got it.
Row context is different from filter context. Now, I just want to advise you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep one thing in mind that when I say row context, it is not going to involve filtering. It is just going to involve uh, iterations. Okay,
Okay.
not
Okay.
filtering.
So what you mean is it will go through each row and take the values instead of
Yes.
filtering it on the basis of, suppose if we
Yeah.
are doing sales, what will happen in a filter context is, suppose we are filtering sales on the basis of say gender, so it will
Yeah.
just take male
Then
gender sales,
yes.
then it is a
Then
filter
only
context.
when you are applying any filter, then filter context will come into play.
Got it.
Okay. When you
Yes.
are not applying any filter, and when you are actually using iterators, in
Mm-hmm.
that case, row context will come into play.
Got it.
Got
Yep.
it? So
Yes.
one thing that you have to keep in mind is that filter context filters the data, and row
Mm-hmm.
context iterates
Okay.
on the data. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
same engine, but two different contexts. And
Mm-hmm.
why these two are grouped under evaluation context? Because these are evaluations. Okay. These
Mm-hmm.
measures that we are talking about over here. The engine is evaluating them. The engine is evaluating them
Mm-hmm.
according to the context which comes into play, according to
Mm-hmm.
the context which come into play based on different circumstances, different times,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this
Yes.
is one thing. Now you must have seen one thing. So let's just do one thing that we let's just make a small dashboard. Okay, small
Mm-hmm.
dashboard. So which date should I select over here? So okay, where is okay? This is date key. Sorry.
Bless you.
Let's just select one thing. Rather than selecting dates, let's just go to product over here. Choose color name, and
Mm-hmm.
let's select sales of sum of sales amount over here. Let's prepare a bar chart.
Mm-hmm.
Select this one, right? Not the best visual, but let's just select it because this is categorical data. And the next thing that we can select right now is again uh, calendar, quarter, calendar year, date description. What is date description? Let's select date description for now. Okay. And then just select sum of sales amount over here. And
Okay.
let's select now line chart, because for line chart generally for date times for dates line charts are the best
Okay.
for time series data.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is not the best thing. I mean, so we need to do one more thing over here.
Mm-hmm.
The date key is okay. The data type of date key is date only.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than choosing date description, let's choose date key over here. Sorry, right?
Okay. Okay.
And we have sum of sales amount by year, quarter, and month. Now,
Okay.
if I click on black over here, suppose
Mm-hmm.
if I click
Mm-hmm.
on black over here, then you see the data got changed. Now, if I click on white over here, then again the
Mm-hmm.
data got changed. So what is now happening is that now choosing one of the items over here on the dashboard is creating a filter context.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this particular filter that, I want the sales amount of all the black and white products, right? I want the sales amount related information of black and white products. Now, this black and white, now this dim product table will get filtered over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we are only choosing black and white over here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since dim product is related to fact sales over here by
Mm-hmm.
one to many relationship, if I'm choosing black and white in dim product, then
Mm-hmm.
the filter context is going to get passed over here, right? To
Right.
fact sales. Now, in fact sales only, all the rows of the transactions which are related to black and white products,
Mm-hmm.
they will get filtered. And then
Okay.
this sum of sales amount will be calculated for the filtered table of fact sales. Are you
Okay.
getting this?
Yes.
So choosing black and white in dim product is going to filter the data. Now
Mm-hmm.
we are having only a few product keys, right? We are having all the rows corresponding to black and white, and we are having product keys corresponding to those products, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black and white product. There may be
Yeah.
many products which are having black color, but
Mm-hmm.
the product key
Yeah.
will be different because
Mm-hmm.
this is a dimension table.
Right.
It is containing unique entries,
Okay.
and the relationship which is existing between this dimension table and this fact tables is between product key only.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever product key this dim product will be having upon filtering the data, the
Mm-hmm.
same product keys will be filtered in the fact sales also.
Right.
And then for calculation of sum of sales amount, this will iterate on the
Mm-hmm.
filtered version of fact sales, and
Okay.
then it is going to calculate the sales amount, and then we are able to get this particular chart over here, right? So
Okay.
whenever you are clicking on anywhere on the
Mm-hmm.
dashboard, you must have seen that the visualizations, they interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
How they are interacting with each other,
Mm-hmm.
it's because of filter context which is coming into play whenever you are playing with the data over here, right?
Right.
So this is what I wanted to talk about right now. So I mean, this was a trial. I just don't want to overwhelm you right now.
No, no, no. So I have question. So in
Yeah.
the measure, we said that, this is it's a filter, sorry, a row context. Okay, it's an
Mm-hmm.
iterator. SUMX function is an iterator,
Yeah.
and when we filter these tables like on the basis of color, suppose
Mm.
we have this chart, bar chart, we are filtering on the basis of
Table.
color. So that
Color.
measure becomes we are running that measure on a filter
Fil-
context,
Uh,
right?
first filter context got applied
Okay.
on the table.
Okay.
I just told you how the flow occurred
Mm-hmm.
from when I applied filter over here.
Mm-hmm.
The dim product got filtered.
Right.
Once dim product got filtered, it
Mm-hmm.
was able to filter fact sales also.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the sum of sales amount will
Mm-hmm.
be calculated for this chart on the basis of filter context which is existing in the dashboard at that particular time. So
Okay.
as you can see, the first argument of
Mm-hmm.
sum x is a table.
Mm-hmm.
The first argument of sum x is a table. So it is
Mm-hmm.
and on this particular table that is
Mm-hmm.
indicated over here, it is
Mm-hmm.
going to iterate. It is going to iterate and calculate the sales amount,
Mm-hmm.
right? So once you select something over here, you are
Mm-hmm.
actually creating a filter context, and fact sales is getting filtered according to your selections. And
Mm-hmm.
in that way only, uh, you can call that then fact sales will be a filtered version. It will not be full fact sales table. It will be the
Right.
filtered table. And then
Got.
sales amount is going to iterate on the subset of that data of fact
Okay.
sales. By subset,
Okay.
I mean filtered version of fact sales.
Filter version
So
faxes.
in this way, everything gets optimized also. In this
Mm-hmm.
way, your queries, your measures will get optimized also. Now,
Got it.
because I haven't selected anywhere over here, then it
Mm-hmm.
is right now, in order to calculate the sales amount, right
Mm-hmm.
now it is iterating on full fact sales table.
Mm-hmm.
And over here also, if you see, like for black, you are able to see different sales amount. For
Mm-hmm.
white, it is different. For silver, it
Mm-hmm.
is different. Now, in
Mm-hmm.
this case, in the calculation of black, again, this is a filter context only, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because what engine is doing is, in order to come up with this particular visualization, what we are doing is
Mm-hmm.
we are actually, you can say, I am able to select the level of aggregation that I want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I have achieved. Currently, I want the sales amount by color name. So
Mm-hmm.
now this is the level of detail I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So in this particular case, in the creation of this visual, suppose I just want to go for this brown color. So
Mm-hmm.
brown color is having this amount, this sum of sales amount, 580192,494. In order
Mm-hmm.
to in order to come up with this particular sum of sales amount, the
Mm-hmm.
engine in the back end applied a filter context only, that it
Okay.
on the product table, that it
Right.
just wants brown color, the products related to brown color. The same,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a relationship between fact sales and dim product. The same
Mm-hmm.
thing, the same filtering
Mm-hmm.
got you can say, it travels to fact sales table, and there
Mm-hmm.
also it applied filter on fact
Mm-hmm.
sales table, and it actually fetched all the transactions related to brown color, related to those
Mm-hmm.
product IDs which are having brown colors.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, it is iterating, and it is able to calculate the sum of sales amount of all the brown products.
Okay.
The same thing is existing for blue color.
Mm-hmm.
And if I talk about this chart also, this time and this particular line chart also, as you can see, I'm able to see like April 2009, the data is different. For May 2009, data is different. I mean, so over here, the level of aggregation that I'm using is that I want data filtered firstly by year, then by
Mm-hmm.
quarter, then by month.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing this, I am able to filter the data. First the filter context got activated, then the
Mm-hmm.
row context got activated.
Okay.
So now there is one more thing which I want to show. Suppose so for this, I'm bringing this card visual over here, and I'm
Okay.
bringing this measure over here. Now you can
Mm-hmm.
see this is the total amount. In the
Mm-hmm.
calculation of this amount, no filter context got applied.
Ah, okay.
No level of aggregation I have chosen, nothing. It is just
Right.
iterating on this whole table, fact
Mm-hmm.
sales table, and it is
Mm-hmm.
just fetching the amount. It's just
Okay.
summing the amount, nothing
Right.
else. So if you
Mm-hmm.
add everything over here, you will be getting 12.41 billion rupees.
Right.
So this is how this actually works.
Uh-huh. Got it. Understood.